Bonjour. This is Bruno and Daniel. We're going to talk about LARVOL CLIN and in particular ADCs today and how CLIN can help you navigate the interesting world of ADCs. Before that, though, you can notice I just received yesterday my new fancy jacket. What do you think?
It's fancy.
It's fancy. That's right. Right. Does it fit with ADCs, you think? It's
I don't
shifting.
think it's very ADC,
It's not
but we could
ADC-ish?
try
Oh, yeah.
it. We could try it at ESMO. I think of
Okay.
all the places for you to hard launch that jacket, Berlin would be the one.
So, audience, you're listening to us. I want your feedback. I want to know if you think I can pull bringing that fancy jacket to ESMO, or
You
if I
can't. It's
should reserve
Berlin.
it.
It's Berlin. You
It's
can't.
It's
It's easy,
Berlin. I
easy
have to
answer.
bring it.
You have to.
This is
It
Berlin.
actually,
Absolutely.
I think you can just walk normally on the streets. No, nothing.
I would be
It'll
disappointed.
just be.
Nobody would
It'll just be
notice me.
another day.
All right, that sounds good. So, audience, please feel free to ask us questions. We love interaction. We'll respond directly. We're live right now. So, if you have any questions about LARVOL CLIN and about how it can help navigate ADCs, please let us know. CLIN is the Wikipedia/Google map of cancer data, especially hard to get, public, but hard to get cancer data about outcome. We collated all of the relevant cancer data into one place. And then on that Google map, we added a layer of colors. We like colors, obviously, coming from the 6,000 oncologists that we track on Twitter. Each time an oncologist on Twitter talks about a cancer clinical result, our AI, sometimes helped by a little bit of analyst work, is extracting that sentiment, and it provides a layer of colors on all of the data in oncology. So first, anything to add on that broad description of CLIN, Daniel? No,
It's very complete.
it's speechless, complete. All right, I did a good job then. All right, so now ADC. So I was with a pharmaceutical, one of the top 5 cancer pharmaceutical companies yesterday, and we talked about modalities, obviously, ADCs versus bispecific, multispecific. Now, of course, IO now is a modality that has peaked, and nobody seems to be interested in IO, which makes me sad a little bit. But and of course, cell therapy, right? Cell therapy is another one, and T cell engagers would be another one. And then there are a longer tail or smaller, more specific modality, maybe epigenetic, and then the RAF, some of the small molecules targeted therapy. So we organize our data in multiple ways, but one of the way of cutting the data on CLIN is by modality. And obviously, everybody's interested in ADCs. I like the ADCs is a kale of oncology, or the macaroon. It's like it's still on the ascending, and obviously China it's a moment of truth. They're the king of ADCs. ADCs are in a way simple. I'm sure people who know better than me would disagree, but it's smart chemo, right? It's a payload attached to a targeting mechanism. And so you can recycle most of the chemo, make them smarter, and have a new product. So it's beautiful for scaled up product generation because it's a bit formulaic. You can create a bunch of them. And then the strategy that people have in China is to be a machine to create ADCs, a machine, unbeatable machine. The same way they build building and high rise over the weekend or bridges, they can build an ADC in X days. I'm making that up, by the way, but the spirit of that is true. So China is going to dominate the ADC world. It's remarkable. It's fascinating. Now they're not intending to developing all of them, but they're selling these programs then to pharma. So let's get to our ADC dashboard, so to speak. I'm going to pass the microphone to you and describing what we have for ADC.
Right. So when you get to CLIN, you'll get to our feed, and then on the top right, we've got the modalities little drop-down menu. If you click on that, we can go to an ADC-specific version of CLIN. And this is basically, it has almost the same functionalities as CLIN, but all the results you're going to find in here are ADC-specific, which is very nice. And we've got some interesting different tabs over here. Like timelines, pipeline, heat map, analytics. Let's start with what? Pipeline?
Right, because pipeline is the basic, right? It's really the center of
Yeah.
any way of tracking a field is the list of products. Now, one comment before you walk us through it is that CLIN, as its name indicates, is clinical. Therefore, we only track an ADC asset once it gets into the clinic. Some of our competitors, you're going to make fun of me for helping our competitors, but some of our competitors we're friendly with, so we certainly respect them. Include preclinical, but not us. We do things that they don't do, but we do not include right now the preclinical pipeline.
Correct. So on our pipeline tab, we have a list of products. They are ranked by the number of trials that they have active for each of these products. Active or I mean, just existing trials. Of course, we can see at the top in HER2, IDIXI, Mylotarg. We've got the company, the target, the payload, the linker, the phase of that particular drug. And when you click on it, you get a list of all of those trials. There you go. And they're sorted by importance. I think importance is a combinated score. I'm not really sure. I think it's posts and publications combined. We'll post it in the comments. I need to double check. I'm not super sure, so don't quote me on that yet. From here, you can get to the trial tab if you want to. If you're just clicking on it, the normal CLIN 360 page.
That's my favorite page of CLIN, by the way. The Clinical Trial 360.
It's great. It's great. We also have a heat map. Very nice heat map. Let me zoom in a little bit because on the shared screen, it's not great. There we go. And then we've got cancer conditions up here. Basically, it's on cancer areas. And then top ADC drugs. You can see them. We've got different drugs. So terminated, right? Things that have been filed. There's nothing with an update that I can see.
Maybe click on one of these cells with a high number and we can see.
Let's click on this one, 115.
Wow.
That's a bit of a
bombshell. That's a bummer. You do so many trials and then
115 trials and then it's...
That's no fun. That's not. Someone is pretty depressed by that, unless it's an artifact. So we might need to QC it perhaps, but okay. Right. So all of these other trials for that indication. Now, sometimes it's got a bomb, but it's a bomb because it failed a subpopulation of that tumor type, and maybe that's the case here. We need to check.
I think it would be. I'd be surprised if on 115 trials, this entire product has been terminated.
Go back to that trial. I've got a little question or even criticism. And folks, this is a building public company. So we're essentially exposing to you all of our inner working. When we have doubts, when we find problems, we don't hide them. We actually highlight them. So here's a question. Assume I'm a customer and I'm looking at all of the trials for that drug and in that tumor type. So, of course, I'm looking at the name of the company, right? And I see, of course, I assume it's a Roche product because if you scroll down, most of the trials are Roche, but there are some notable exceptions, right? There's some notable exceptions. And so the questions about the exceptions is whether or not the drug was in the intervention arm or in the control arm. Right? Because an argument is that we should only include the trials here that were trials where probably sponsored by the owner of that drug, and trials for which the drug was intervention drug, not the control drug. So that might be an interesting thing to check in that list of trials.
That is, it's very good feedback. We'll make sure that whoever in the company is watching, drop the comment. If not, I will.
Yes.
All right, let's switch tabs because time is ticking. Let's go to analytics. So here, graphs. We love our graphs. They're great, super interactive. We've got top targets, and we've got the number of trials for them, and then we classify them into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 trials. We can also modify this, right? You can change, instead of this axis being trials, you can change it to drugs. So you can see how many drugs are active for, here we go, for HER2, for TROP2, EGFR. And then you can also order it by condition, by payload, by linker, whatever you want to, whatever combination of those two you want. And of course, all of these are interactive. So say if we go back to trials and we go to, let's go targets. Go to phase 4 trials for HER2. And you'll come to a list of phase 4 trials for HER2. So very quick, very easy to find what it is that you're looking for. Very easy to get a general sentiment of where the research is being done for ADCs in particular, right? So what targets are being targeted, for lack of a better word. How many drugs are for each target. And all the other tabs on here, right? So the Kaplan-Meier plot, the forest plot, the response rates, the landscapes, the conferences, they will all show ADC-specific information. So if your focus on research is ADCs and you need to produce a Kaplan-Meier plot and you want to compare two curves for ADCs in particular, instead of having to sort through the entire database of CLIN, we made it a little bit easier for you to just switch to the ADC-specific version of it, where you can have a more curated experience for your research needs.
That sounds good. We're going to be at the end of the call in a couple of minutes. What I'd like the audience, encourage the audience to do is if they are interested in ADCs in particular, but also if they're interested in any other modality or in just trying CLIN, send us a message. We love to demo and we love to present our product to you. So please contact me, contact Daniel, send us a message on our website or on social media, and we will be in contact and we'll give you a demo. I'm also, and Daniel is at many as well, at most of the top cancer conferences. So I'm heading to WCLC. I will also be at ESMO, and I think at ESMO AI, which is going to take place in Europe as well. After that, SCBCS and ASH to complete the year. So if you are at any of these conferences, I would love to say hi. And if you see me in the crowd, as you know, I'm trying to be noticed. So please say hello. That's the end of our podcast today, unless you have any final points on your side, Daniel.
Well, I'm very much looking forward for you to hard launch that jacket at ESMO in Berlin.
I told my mom yesterday, Mom, I've got a new jacket, and I let us guess about what it was. I described it, but I think she's a little scared of what it will be. So she hasn't seen it yet. And for some of you know, I'm from Brittany in France, and people in Brittany, one of their characteristics is we don't like to draw attention to ourselves. We're supposed to stay very, traditional, and certainly don't draw attention to yourself. That's not the way of Brittany. So there's a reason why I had to leave Brittany, as much as I love Brittany in France. On that note, everybody, in Breton we say kenavo, and in French we say au revoir.